Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism. How many of you have heard of something called main character energy? This was a new one for me, and then when somebody asked me about it and then interviewed me about it, which required me to research it, I was like, ooh, okay, well there's a generational gap for you. So put your thoughts down there. Main character energy, narcissist, not? Let's break this one down because I think it's a little bit of a controversial area and it's not as simple as it seems. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Would love to have you. But let's talk about main character energy. So main character energy, this is a thing, okay? And I am going to be definitely showing my age as I walk you through this video. I've had multiple people ask me if main character energy is the same as narcissism. It's not. I actually had to study up on this because main character energy is not a thing for a 56-year-old woman. It's hard for me to imagine anyone would want to witness the joys of me being the main character and folding laundry or emptying the dishwasher with me in the center of a performance art piece of me doing my household chores and saying, here I am, doing my life. It's just not something my age group does. Now, main character energy is definitely a concept that comes up in the social media era, right? In the healthy variation of this concept, it's also about taking charge of your own life, setting your own goals, and just being a good protagonist, like taking the lead in your own story. I think it's a bit of a distortion of what Carl Rogers and other humanistic psychologists intended to be self-actualization. Now, this idea of main character energy is also about making yourself the center of attention, the center of the story. It's as though all of the lights and the cameras are trained on you, and everyone else in the scene is a secondary player or an extra. Some folks who embrace this main character concept almost view everything in their life as sort of a short film, whether it's going for their morning run, getting their groceries, going out to dinner, cleaning the house, going on vacation. It's the cameras trained on you. You're imagining the soundtrack. Here I am, single gal, buying the makings for my pasta dinner on my movie night alone. Or look at me dressing up and making a grand entrance at dinner with my friends. That's the main characterness of it all, right? In the more sort of ostensible way. Now, main character energy needs an audience. And that's where we see sort of the incessant posting of moments in a life. Hundreds of millions of little films about people's lives every day on social media with them as the main characters. They're the central characters in their vacations, going to school, going to work, driving next to the ocean, at a concert. It's a stream of consciousness broadcasting, and there they are, the star of their own lives. So, okay. As a shrink, and not a young one, I love the idea. I got to tell you, I do love the idea of people grabbing the bull by the horns, viewing themselves as key players in their own lives, setting goals, putting themselves out there, honoring their voices. I think that's all great, especially young people. My generation carries different burdens than this young generation does. And I have to tell you, I love seeing empowerment at younger ages and living life on your terms. That part I think is great. Where this main characterness runs the risk of veering into narcissistic territory is when it becomes about needing the audience. So my question is, can a main character-driven person who has posted the quirky little, look at me buying the ingredients to make my sourdough bread, or being the central character in their various vacation pictures, would it be okay if there wasn't a lot of validation, or if there weren't a lot of likes and comments? Because if the main character energy person gets upset that nobody is tuning into their life, that's when I think it has taken a left turn onto narcissism lane. Or if the main character-driven pursuits mean that a person can't be bothered with the lives or needs or feelings of others, that the need to have a night curated in such a specific way means that anything other than the main character script then is greeted with contempt. Somebody comes dressed the way you don't want them to. Or that in the focus on the main characterness, that a person may hijack the experience or a moment that is important to someone else, like someone else's birthday party or someone else's celebration. If the main character lacks empathy, that's when this entire main character vibe starts to feel narcissistic to me. Main character energy with self-awareness and empathy to me is a person who is being assertive and agentic and standing in their power. All good stuff. A main character who is not self-aware or self-reflective or not empathic, well, that is just an attention-seeking person who may be more in the realm of narcissism and antagonism. Now, listen, I am not such a fuddy-duddy, and if you don't know what a fuddy-duddy is, look it up. I'm learning younger generation stuff. Y'all can learn some of my stuff. I'm not such a fuddy-duddy that I don't recognize the simple truth that social media and technology mean that all of us interact with the world and media in general quite differently now. And the fact is, these changes are permanent. Marshall McLuhan wrote, "First we build the tools, then they build us." Well, that's what's happening now. This idea of mutual recognition is a key element of every healthy human relationship and human development. The question is whether technology or people liking pictures on social media, is that really mutual recognition? It's pretty damn clear the tools are building us right now, and it's all shifting how our identities are shaped. Ergo, this main character energy. However, what does this mean for really important human experiences like mutuality? Can a main character hold space and recognition for the experience and the story for the main characterness of another? So what happens when two main characters meet? Because let's face it, you may be out there and doing your main character day, but someone else is too. And what happens when two main characters collide? If the mutual recognition is not possible, then I'm not a fan. A main character must have empathy. Without that, it's just narcissism. It's easy to write off this main character energy thing as just being attention-seeking and narcissistic, and in some cases I do believe that it's true. But if any of you out there can pull off your main characterness with empathy while maintaining awareness of the other, and frame it as taking charge of your life and not just, look, I'm the star of my movie and of the movie of my life. Look at me, watch me, appreciate me, be fascinated by me. And that you write off the people in your life just as being audience members, then that might be a little bit of a problem. That's an interesting moment, isn't it? But reflect on how you cope with the moments in your life when nobody is looking. If it doesn't matter to you whether it's 1 like or 10,000 likes, then you know what? I say enjoy your main characterness as a taking back of your power. But if this is being done as a numbers game and for validation and recognition, slow down and do a deeper dive. Because it means that your short movie of yourself with you as the star may not end up very well and could actually end up really lonely. Something to think about.